I think now you can do that.
So, Dr. Abha is having a vast experience around more than 2 decades. She is an entrepreneurship and incubation domain. And she's the one who are a pure academician turned into the administration in an incubation program. Uh, Primarily, she understand how to nurture the entrepreneurship culture in different institutions in a community, and how a incubator program help the individual to become entrepreneur, how a enterprise could be started, what the way to be selected a good business idea, whether it's in a startup, whether it's a non-startup, and how this could be go ahead in a scale mode. Parallel, we also understand the government programs, government support system, government local support system, the micro and medium enterprise segment, and many other things. She is engaged in a deeply engaged, I say, in a variety of programs, not only the national and the international level too. And with this vast experience, she's a ex-executive director to the mission program Madhya Pradesh, and the former CEO of BIMTech Atal Incubation Center. With this early brief, I welcome you all here, and especially Dr. Varishi. Thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and be a part of program. The agenda of the day is to be how you people can start the incubation segment, the entrepreneurial development model in your institution, whether it's an incubation center or whether it's anything else. I no, you can design, you can think, you can do it your own with the support of our expert. So with this, I'm stopping here and handovering the session to our speaker. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mahendraji, and thank you for that nice introduction. Since we have two groups here with us, one is the faculties and the other is the students. So I'm going to be addressing both of you, and I've taken it into two sections. So my first section is for the students, and the second one I'm going to be talking to the faculties. The reason being that both sections need to understand what the others can also do. So I'll start off with the student section. See, this is the right time for many people to start their ventures. But the core idea here, I'm going to talk in both Hindi and English because I think that's the language of the youth, the hybrid English which is there. So if any of you have any problems or anything, just let me know. I'll switch into either one of them, whichever you're comfortable with. So I mean, I hope you're okay with that. I mean, if you are, just give me a thumbs up so that I know that you're all fine with it. I'm going to keep asking questions as a faculty, remember, so I'm going to keep pushing you to keep responding back to me. So इसलिए आप session में सो नहीं सकते हो. And I might even cold call some of you. So is it okay? But yeah, so let's keep it interactive. Starting off with the idea about how students can look at the opportunities which are available through incubation. See, when you're a student, what are the things that you need for you to start a venture? सबसे basic चीज होता है idea, right? So where will the idea come from? How can you really think whether that idea is for you? So all these things are taken up under an incubation center. So the first thing is idea generation. So we have Mahendraji here and we have Sunil here and we have quite a few other people out here who have been there in the incubation ecosystem. So the first thing is idea and how to generate an idea. So there are many methods of doing that, and that is one of the subjects or the topics which are picked up in many incubation centers for people who are pre-venture level, right? This is what we call as the pre-incubation, जहाँ पे you have not had any idea कि आप करने क्या वाले. So as a student, understanding how to generate your ideas is one of the things. The second thing is once you have generated your idea, you have come out with, अच्छा ठीक है, I'm going to make jewelry from space dust. मान लो. I'm giving you something which is a little out of the way types. So jewelry from space dust. Now, how do you know whether this idea that you have come out with, is it really feasible? Is it really viable in the market? So again, here, the incubation centers run a lot of sessions which tell you whether your idea is going to be really feasible. So how do they do that? They do that by testing what is your background. So if you have a space background, something with space engineering, or if you have something to do with jewelry design, so that's a combination which can come together to create space jewelry, right? But if you don't have anything like that, and if you don't have the kind of deep pockets required for you to get the space dust or other things, so then it goes off. So making you understand the viability of the idea that you have generated, whether it is through market feasibility, whether it is through financial feasibility, whether it is your own personal strengths which are there. Because any idea will not work vis-a-vis you as the founder. So there has to be a combination of factors which needs to work. So you need to have an idea which you as a founder can really take care of. Now, if somebody was to tell me the same idea that I would have to take this ahead as jewelry with space dust, I will not be able to do it because I don't have a background in either space or I don't have an experience in either jewelry designing. But if there is somebody else who has got that, that idea is good for them. So understanding that ideas are great, but whether it is great for you or not is what needs to be checked out. And that is where incubators come into the play. So they talk about the idea feasibility through financial feasibility, market feasibility, and personal feasibility. Once that is checked, there are a lot of metrics, there are a lot of factors through it. In some way, incubators really help, right? And then after having checked that idea feasibility, you need to understand whether you can actually prototype it. Can you create something? To sell something, you need to have the prototype ready. Actually, there's another what do you call term which is being used called pretotype. So for things which are very highly expensive, so instead of creating a prototype which is expensive, they create even before the prototype is created. So you have the idea, the concept of that particular prototype, which is tested in the market. So ये सब चीजें जो है, an incubator really helps. And many good incubators also help you get the pilot markets. तो pilot testing के लिए कर सकते हैं for your prototype. और ये बहुत important है because you get actual feedback from potential clients, right? And the kind of feedback and the comments and suggestions that they give, you then incorporate it and create your actual product or service. ये तो हुआ आइडिया लेवल का. उसके बाद क्या है, incubators help करते हैं. Incubators really help you in go to market strategies. प्रोडक्ट बना लिया आपने, सर्विस या जो भी बना लिया आपने, उसको आप मार्केट में कैसे लेके जाओगे. पायलट टेस्टिंग हो गई कि हाँ ये बढ़िया चीज है, people are going to be interested in this particular product or service, इसको आप मार्केट में कैसे लेके जाओगे. क्योंकि जब तक कोई चीज बिकेगी नहीं, तब तक तो किसी काम का नहीं है. You have to create revenues, right? So how does an incubator help in this? An incubator helps in your go to market strategies. अब वो बेसिक चीजें भी हो सकती है, which talks about branding, which talks about promotion. So एक incubator के पास में you have a panel of these kind of experts. So you could have legal experts who could help you in getting the IPRs for your particular product or service, which will help you when you're going in for your promotional strategies, branding strategies. So ये सब चीजें जो है, that comes into play when you have the incubator. But इन सबसे भी ज्यादा जरूरी है कि जब आप मार्केट में अपना प्रोटोटाइप लेके जा रहे हैं, तो आपके पास इनिशियल फंड्स नहीं होते हैं. बहुत कम लोगों के पास में ऐसे होता है कि उनके पास फंड्स होता है. तो बहुत से इंक्यूबेटर्स के पास में दे हैव गवर्नमेंट फंड्स थ्रू डिफरेंट स्कीम्स. जैसे स्टार्टअप इंडिया का सीड फंड स्कीम है. आई डोंट नो हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव हर्ड अबाउट दिस. इफ यू हैवंट, please note it down. This is one of the best schemes that the government has launched when it comes to funding people who are just starting off. So early stage जो entrepreneurs हैं, उनके लिए फंड बहुत अच्छा है, because this gives money not only in equity but also in grant. So up to 20 lakhs आपको grant funding भी हो सकता है. और difference between grant and equity is grant में आपको पैसा वापस नहीं देना पड़ता है, but of course you have your milestones. तभी आपको सारे grants के अलग-अलग levels मिलते हैं. And then of course you have, अगर 20 लाख से ज्यादा चाहिए तो then you have to go in for equity. So this becomes more like you have to share some of your value that you have created under your equity. So you have grants under the different schemes. तो SISF एक ही स्कीम है, ऐसे बहुत सारे स्कीम्स हैं. Does anybody out here know how many schemes the government is running as of now? Anybody? Just put out a figure in the chat box. जो आपके मन में हो. So I'm going to look at the chat box and see how many of you have put out different numbers. Come on, put out a number. Let's see how many of you know about different schemes. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to do that. नहीं तो फिर मैं एक-एक का नाम लूंगी. सोच लो. Yes. Hello. So let me start with, I am seeing some very nice name here, Vimansha. I don't know whether you're a student or you're a faculty, but I like your name. Okay, so Vimansha का जो है, can you just put in a number? Okay, now I'm seeing a lot of faces. Good, nice. डालिए chat box में डालिए. How many schemes do you know about? I'm waiting for the responses. Just put whatever number that you know about. So Abhijit, Asim, Amit, Vimansha को already बोल दिया है. So I'm not seeing anything in my chat box. Come on. So you know about 5 schemes, 10 schemes, 15. कितने जानते हो? You can unmute and tell me also, no issues. आप बताओगे नहीं तो प्रॉब्लम होगी. Because then I'll ask more questions and then I'll cold call. And there's no problem. Just put a number out there. Me or I'm not able. Has anybody started putting out the numbers out there? कितने schemes के बारे में जानते हो? कोई आंसर गलत नहीं है. I'm just asking कितने schemes के बारे में आप जानते हो? If you're not going to respond, I don't think there's any sense of taking the session forward also.
And for your information, Dr. Abha, we had a last session over the schemes only.
That's okay. But so I'm asking, how many do you know about? How many schemes have you learned? No problems. So just put in a number.
So what scheme we are running here in ABS?
Yeah, that's okay. जितने भी जानते हो उन schemes के एक number डाल दो. So Mahendra ji, I mean, I'm not getting any response. What happened? Ayush ji, am I audible? First of all, let me know that. Am I audible? I mean, can you listen to me talk?
No, you are audible. You are audible, loud and clear. Dr. Abhijit, Dr. Pooja, please answer the query. Dr. Abhijit from IT.
डर किस बात का है भाई? गलत थोड़ी है. मैं तो ये पूछ रही हूँ कि आप कितने स्कीम्स के बारे में जानते हैं. मैंने ये थोड़ी पूछा है कि कितने स्कीम्स हैं टोटल में. No responses.
Very bad. Gaurav, you can answer. Dr. Pooja, you can answer it.
Ma'am, actually, I'm not able to write on chat box. I don't know why.
So you can speak. You can speak.
Okay. In last session, we have heard about 5-3 schemes, which is on state government. Actually, I don't know the names, but we have presentation and we have some screenshots. In that, we have 5 to 6 schemes, which we have heard in the last session. But I don't know why we are not able to write on the chat box.
चलिए कोई बात नहीं. No problem. So others can also unmute and speak. I mean, this is an interactive session. So just unmute. Give me a number. Thank you. Dr. Pooja. That was very nice of you.
Thank you,
And
ma'am.
how about the others? How about the others? I think you can unmute. If you can't write on the chat box, maybe you can unmute and tell me. Okay,
Actually,
fine.
ma'am, last
Then-
time we have asked for black and white in PDF form. All the 5 to 6 schemes. We have asked to the sir, I think Mahendra Kumar Gupta sir, for PDF. And one of the
Then you-
teacher also asked for this, I think Dipti Rani ma'am.
डॉक्टर पूजा महेंद्र जी के ऊपर मत बोलिएगा, ये सब चीजें अवेलेबल है ऑन द नेट, ठीक है? इंटरनेट खोलिए, टाइप करिए स्कीम्स अंडर डिफरेंट स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स, आपको मिल जाएगा। आप अभी यूपी में है, आपको यूपी के स्कीम्स और सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स मिल जाएंगे, ठीक है? तो खुद का कभी कभी ना, जैसे आप भी फैकल्टी हैं तो थोड़ा सा बोलते हैं ना बच्चों को कि खुद का होमवर्क खुद भी कर लीजिए, डोंट वेट फॉर द टीचर टू स्पून फीड यू। और एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में तो स्पून फीडिंग चलता ही नहीं है, ठीक है?
हाँ जी मैम।
तो actually overall there are 43 different schemes under 17 different ministries. That is the number of schemes which are available for people who want to start their ventures. But हाँ, वो अलग अलग लेवल पे है। जैसे मेटी का स्कीम है फॉर स्केलिंग अप, स्टार्टअप इंडिया का सीड फंड जो है दैट इज फॉर अर्ली स्टेज, आई मीन राइट इन द बिगिनिंग फ्रॉम प्रोटोटाइपिंग लेवल से लेके है। ऐसी डीएसटी के बहुत सारे स्कीम्स हैं। तो ये सब मिला के there are 43 different schemes under 17 different ministries. So that's the level of support that the government gives. और बहुत सारे incubators के पास में बहुत सारे schemes होते हैं, and they also have a process to it. So incubators are really able to help if you have a very good idea which has been tested for feasibility. और जब incubator खुद इस बात को support करते हैं कि हाँ this is a good idea, they will also have no issues with helping you with the funding. तो ये तो हुआ फर्स्ट लेवल पे। उसके बाद जब आप निकलते हैं मार्केट में, तो सबसे पहले चीज जो होती है ना, वो अंडरस्टैंड करना होता है आपके फाइनेंशियल्स। तो हैविंग टू नो अबाउट द बेसिक ऑफ फाइनेंशियल नॉलेज इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। बहुत से फाउंडर्स की ये बहुत बड़ी गलती होती है कि वो मार्केट के ऊपर ज्यादा फोकस करते हैं। जरूरी है, मार्केट के ऊपर फोकस करना बहुत जरूरी है, बिकॉज उसके बिना आपका रेवेन्यू नहीं आएगा। बट अंडरस्टैंडिंग हाउ द रेवेन्यू नीड्स टू बी यूटिलाइज्ड and how the revenue should actually be categorized is one of the basic things that you learn with financial understanding. और ये इसके सेशंस भी होते हैं इनक्यूबेटर्स में। बहुत से जो एक्सपर्ट्स होते हैं, फाइनेंशियल एक्सपर्ट्स होते हैं, वो पैनल में होते हैं। तो आप मेंटर भी किसी को चूज कर सकते हैं, आप किसी के साथ में सेशन भी कर सकते हैं। तो ये सब चीजें जो है ना बहुत जरूरी है। आपको मालूम है बहुत से स्टार्टअप्स को फंडिंग क्यों नहीं मिलता है? The reason being that many of them don't do their financial due diligence right from the beginning. That means आपका पहला जो पैसा आता है ना खाते में, आपको जब बैंक अकाउंट खोलने के बाद आपके पहला जो ऑर्डर जो आपको मिलता है, उसका पैसा आता है खाते में, तब से लेके आगे की जितनी भी जर्नी है, यू हैव टू डॉक्यूमेंट इट। बहुत से लोग इस चीज का ध्यान नहीं रखते हैं, एंड दैट्स वेयर मोस्ट ऑफ द फाउंडर्स लूज आउट ऑन फंडिंग। Because if you have not done your financial diligence, many funders are not interested in funding it. So that learning comes when you get along with a good incubator and they are able to help you in that. So if you have seen how the entire gamut of things is there when it comes to the support from an incubator. So shuru se jaise idea se leke, you have the prototyping and then go to market. So in sab pe har level pe aapko ek different kind of understanding की जरूरत होती है, and good incubators will give you experts who can take you through that particular space and help you scale up. तो चौथा जो level आता है वो है scale up का, and like I said, many good incubators, I mean again and again stressing the fact good incubators, because 10 years ago we had something like 100 incubators. आज की डेट में वी हैव मोर देन 1000 incubators, 1500 के करीब रजिस्टर्ड incubators है इंडिया में, and not all of them are good. Pardon me, I mean, but not all of them are good. So you have to see which are the good incubators. उसके बारे में बात करेंगे कि how can you pick a good incubator. So these incubators who are good, they will give you this entire spectrum, right from hand-holding you when you come in that you want to start a venture, giving you an idea, helping you find an idea which matches with you, to prototyping where you can get grants and create something, going onto the market, getting your first level of revenue coming in, and then finally scaling up. And there also, incubators can help with the panel of investors who are there. VCs बहुत सारे होते हैं, they can help them. तो ये सब चीजें incubators can help you. So VCs के बाद में many times even private equity players come into PEs जो होते हैं, can also take you to an IPO. So there's this entire scale which happens. तो वो सब चीजें हैं. So I have talked about the different benefits that a incubator can give to a startup, and this is for the students, right? So students को, how do you make sure that you are ready for that risk-taking ability? Again, आप अपने campus में, do you have something called an e-cell? If you don't, under the IIC, Institutional Innovation Committee, which is there, the faculties can work along with the students to create these kind of things. इससे क्या है, दो चीजें होंगी. एक तो आप controlled environment में you're testing your risk taking abilities. अब जैसे let me give you an example of हम लोगों ने क्या किया था. We did something called Udyami. What is this? Just a simple mela which happened, which we did every year. उसमें students जो है, they would bid for stalls, and उस stalls में they would sell different products and services. Now, students would get interested in this because it's fun. They're working along with their friends, doing this, selling, paisa aa raha hai, creating a lot of things. But the actual learning is not that. The actual learning is team management. जैसे आपका वेंचर जो होता है ना, ग्रो करता है, तो आपको टीम की जरूरत पड़ती है, और टीम को मैनेज करना बहुत जरूरी है. मान लो आप 5 लोग हो, there are 5 students working together. आपको अपने क्लासेस भी मैनेज करने हैं, आपको पूरा जो ऑपरेशंस ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर स्टॉल वो भी मैनेज करना है. अब एक तो बोलेगा मैं सुबह से लेके शाम तक वहां पे खड़ा हूँ और मेरी क्लासेस में ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है. दूसरा बोलेगा मैं भागदौड़ कर रहा हूँ मार्केटिंग करने के लिए. तीसरा बोल रहा है मैं पूरा फाइनेंस का देख रहा हूँ. So how do you bring all these people together and make them a very cohesive and strong team is what you do. And people who have, I mean, many of our students who have gone through us in that different melas, they come and tell us कि conflict management जो है ना, this is one of the things that we have learned. कि कैसे जो है झगड़े सुलझाने हैं and come out with a solution. That is the most important. तो ये सब चीजें आप सीखते हो when you're doing this in a controlled environment. So this is also my suggestion to the faculties is, for if you're trying to develop a entrepreneurial ecosystem and incubation ecosystem in your campuses, these are some of the activities that you need to work on. So I have Sunil here with me. Sunil has been with me since 2011, and he has worked with me for quite a long time, and he has managed quite a few of these activities. So do reach out to him in case you want to talk anything about such kind of activities, or you want to talk about incubation operations or anything like that. Maybe Sunil, you can share your number later on in the chat or anything, or you can unmute and talk about it. So these kind of things need to be taken care of. So for students, I'm going to stop here right now and ask, have you understood what are the different things that an incubator brings in, or an entrepreneurship ecosystem brings in when you think about starting your own venture? Any questions that students have, you can either write it in the chat box, or you can open up your mics and speak to me. I'm going to give you like 10 seconds if you want to unmute and ask. Otherwise, I'll go on to the next one, which is for the faculties. Of course, you can also listen in, because who knows, someday you might also become faculties. Wo bhi hai. So no questions? Right. So if you have no questions, then I'll go on to how an incubator can help faculties. Many of you must have read about the NEP, which is there, and how different benefits have come for faculties under the NEP. So one of the things which is there is that if you are part of a venture, then you get a lot of academic credits. for students, and the faculty also gets extra benefits. So ये सब चीजें has come under NEP, but what happens is that ये सब चीजें अभी implement होने में time लगता है किसी भी organization में. So what do you get if you get into this particular area? Now, I don't know how many of you have got a LinkedIn account. Anybody out here who, or rather, let me ask you, do you all have a LinkedIn account? If you have, give me a thumbs up. I think that's something that you can do. Reactions are open. So how many of you have got a LinkedIn account? So I'm seeing one from the Dean. Okay, right, great. One person raised their hand. Okay, so who has raised the hand? I'm not able to see. I think Gaurav Butts has raised his hand.
Please,
So yeah,
Gaurav.
Yeah, Gaurav, you can unmute and ask the question. No problems.
Sorry?
Yes, Gaurav, I think you raised your hand. You have a question?
Yeah. Yeah, you can.
Please go ahead. Yes, Gaurav, go ahead.
You were asking who has a LinkedIn account. That's why I've raised my hand.
Okay. So I was just saying, okay, fine. Please, thank you. You can do it. The others have sent in the thumbs up that they have a LinkedIn account. My question here again comes that if you have a LinkedIn account, how many people do you have under your network? So those who have more than, say, 7,000 LinkedIn connects, just send me a thumbs up. Or if you want to unmute and say, that's also perfectly fine. More than 7,000. Okay. No. More than 5,000? Okay. More than 3,000? Okay. More than 2,000? 1,000? So I'm seeing one person has responded back with a thumbs up on 1,000. So who, if you don't mind, do you mind telling who it is? Who has got more than 1,000? Can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I'm not able to see who it is. So who has got more than 1,000? Yeah, Dr. Jiten?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Great to know that. The thing is, having a LinkedIn account means that you have an access to a wonderful network. Right, Jitendraji?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Right? And the thing is that as a faculty, one of the things that is necessary is that you have a good network. Why is it necessary? Because you can have access to so many experts, so many mentors. So आप अपने LinkedIn account से mentors या experts को reach out करते हैं जितेंद्र जी?
Actually, most of the students are connected with me, and some faculties of different colleges are also connected with me.
Okay. That's one way of using the LinkedIn account. But the best method of using a LinkedIn account is कि आप identify करिए कि आपको किस area में expert बनना है. या तो आप अपने background से करिए या हो सकता है कि कोई नया, जैसे अभी cyber security की बात करते हैं या AI की बात करते हैं या water management की बात करते हैं. These are things which are like upcoming and trending in the market. So if you want to reach out to such people, LinkedIn is the best method.
Yes.
कोई और मेथड से आप नहीं रीच आउट कर सकते. आप सोचिए कि अगर आपको किसी एक्सपर्ट को रीच आउट करना है, आप सबसे पहले तो नंबर मिलना मुश्किल, राइट? मान लो नंबर मिल भी गया, तो you give them a cold call. It's not necessary that they respond back to you. But on LinkedIn, it makes life much easier. People respond even if they don't know you very well. You can state what your idea is, and then you can reach out to them. And most people do respond back on LinkedIn. So make use of that connections. Coming back to why I was talking about LinkedIn is that connectivity बहुत जरूरी है. Mentors को लेके आना for your students, even otherwise also, like if you want to do some research, if you want to create some, if you want to get some information about certain things, you want to write a case study, all these things you can get through LinkedIn. And an incubation center usually has a very strong, thriving LinkedIn account. कि उनको तो जरूरी है कि अपने जो incubatees हैं उनके लिए mentors लेके आना, उनके लिए experts लेके आना. connect with these guys and you can get to reach out to a lot of people. But reaching out के साथ साथ जो incubatees within the incubator ecosystem होते हैं, they also can create beautiful stories. तो बहुत से case studies जो मैंने लिखे हैं has come from many incubatees who are there in the incubator. Social impact के ऊपर लिखा है, growth के ऊपर लिखा है. तो ये सब चीजें जो आती है that comes from interacting with the incubator people and understanding the ventures who are there. आपको जो promotion आता है तो आपके जो PA system है उसमें case studies और research papers बहुत मायने रखते हैं, है ना? तो कहाँ से लेके आते हो डेटा? बहुत मुश्किल होता है बहुत बारी फील्ड स्टडी करना, बट एक इंक्यूबेटर में आपके पास इतना सारा इंफॉर्मेशन होता है. बट हाँ, इंक्यूबेटर के सीईओ के साथ बना के रखना जरूरी है. तो महेंद्र जी के साथ में आपकी दोस्ती अच्छी होनी चाहिए, है ना? और बाकी जो कॉलेज में जो इंक्यूबेटर्स है उनके साथ में भी बना के रखना जरूरी है. तो आप साथ में काम करेंगे तो आप केस स्टडीज लिख पाएंगे. एंड देयर आर लॉट ऑफ ब्यूटीफुल स्टोरीज बिहाइंड ईच वेंचर which can become wonderful case studies. और ऐसी जब आपके पास मतलब मान लो 100 लोग हैं incubator में, डेटा इकट्ठा करिए. There are so many dimensions that you can talk about in a venture. And you can make a wonderful research paper. ये सब चीजें जो है ना, that is of use to a faculty also. But more than that, you yourself can be a mentor. आपकी expertise है एक specific area में. जो लोग आते हैं इन द इंक्यूबेटर, जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं आपके भी, आप उनको गाइड कर सकते हैं. तो आपका कई बार टेक्निकल एक्सपर्टीज हो सकता है, मैनेजमेंट एक्सपर्टीज हो सकता है, इकोनॉमिक एक्सपर्टीज हो सकता है. क्योंकि many times people think that the liberal arts subjects are not very important. But आप ये सोचिए कि अगर इकोनॉमिक्स की अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं है तो आप मार्केट ट्रेंड्स को पढ़ नहीं पाएंगे. बहुत सी चीजें आपस में लिंक्ड. हाउ कैन यू फाइंड आउट दैट डेल्टा किसी भी चीज का? तो उसके लिए एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग, बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स, प्लस इफ यू आर एबल टू गेट एन एक्सपर्ट ऑन बोर्ड, नथिंग लाइक दिस. ये बहुत सारी चीजें जो है दैट कैन बी क्रिएटेड. एंड कोलैबोरेशन बिटवीन द फाउंडर, द स्टूडेंट, द फैकल्टी, एंड between different faculties also. So you can have a management faculty coming in with a different dimension. You can have an engineering faculty talk about different. तो ये सब चीजें जब मिलती है ना साथ में, तो रिसर्च पेपर जो बनता है ना वो फिर A या A स्टार क्वालिटी बनता है. ये सब चीजें हैं, राइट? तो प्लस ऑफ कोर्स अगर आप if you become a mentor, you can take some equity also from the venture. बट एक सजेशन है, बिकॉज ये गलती बहुत सारे फैकल्टीज करते हैं, माइनर इक्विटी लीजिएगा, मेजॉरिटी स्टेक मत लीजिएगा. क्योंकि आप मेजॉरिटी स्टेक लेते हैं तो आगे चल के जब स्केलिंग अप होता है तो जो वीसीज हैं वो हाथ नहीं लगाते हैं, वो थोड़ा सा हिचकिचाते हैं. तो इसके बारे में महेंद्र जी के साथ बैठिएगा कभी, तो बताएंगे कि क्यों वीसीज इसके बारे में नहीं इंटरेस्टेड होते हैं, जहाँ पे फैकल्टीज का ज्यादा majority stake होता है. Or maybe you can reach out to me and also and we can talk about it. So these are some of the things that I wanted to talk about. So I think I have covered for students and I have covered for faculties and I have covered government support ecosystem. I've just given the numbers. If you want more details, I mean, we will have to have a different session क्योंकि ये 1 घंटे का था जो particular ये वाला जो session है, in which we are talking about opportunities for students and faculties in the incubation ecosystem. So now I'll ask you to unmute and ask questions. You've got a basic understanding. इसके अलावा, if you want me to go into much more depth, ask your questions. I'll do that. ये तो foundation level था, basement level वाली चीजें हैं. If you want to know more, unmute, ask me a question. Anybody who's there or anybody who's planning to start an incubator, because हमने तो बहुत गलतियां की थी. महेंद्र जी बताया ना बताए, हम लोगों ने जब AIC शुरू किया था, we made a lot of mistakes, but we also learned from our mistakes and we have been able to create certain strategies which has helped us grow very fast. तो आज की डेट में अगर AIC BizTech is one which is acknowledged by the Atal Innovation Mission, Niti Aayog, and in the top 10 incubators. So it makes a lot of difference to us. क्योंकि हमें भी कुछ मालूम नहीं
आभा
जब
जी।
हमने शुरू किया था. हाँ जी.
See, a very common question come from the crowd that they are not the technology institutions. How they think about to build an incubator?
महेंद्र जी, हमारे यहाँ पे सारी टेक्नोलॉजी बेस्ड तो नहीं है. All the ventures, if you look around, not all of them are technology based. Actually, we need people who are non-technology to have good ideas. Many times,
Correct.
what is required is just a collaboration with technical people, get them onto the team. But ideas जरूरी नहीं है कि technical हो. So for people who are there from non-technical, जैसे हम लोग भी तो management institution थे. Vimtech is a management institution. We don't have any technical stuff out there. But we have collaborated with around like 15 or 16 engineering institutions across the country. वो चीजें हैं. Yeah, Mahendra ji, I think you were saying something.
No, please. So the colleges who are here, on the part of this session, if they think about the incubator program, how they start it, what's the first and initial steps they need to be taken?
I think Mahendra ji, it will be great if the incubators themselves are muted and asked. Because understanding of their ecosystem is very, very important. तो पूछिए ना, मतलब ऐसा क्या है?
No. I only the asking about on the behalf of the people who are here, and what I seen that they have the query, but they're not asking here. There's something is not good for my excellent speaker
Sir.
comes over the platform. Yeah, Gaurav.
So there's a question from my side that what kind of networking opportunity does an incubation center provides during startups? Is there?
Okay. So you're asking
That's my
about
question. Yeah,
Sure.
networking opportunity kind of.
for startups, right?
Yeah, right.
So I'll just say amazing level of opportunities are there for networking by startups. So एक तो ये है कि there are a lot of demo days which happen in incubators, almost one a month or at least once in 2 months definitely happens. So यहाँ पे you get to meet a lot of other founders who have come in for pitching their ventures. You get to meet a lot of venture capitalists who are there. You get to meet a lot of angel investors. So there are a lot of activities which happen in an incubator for networking. Because even for an incubatee, getting into the market means that they have to network. So you will have experts coming in who might be from different fields, who might be a mentor. So बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसे होती है which an incubator can really help you. So networking तो है ही. Plus अगर आप देखें तो बहुत से meetup sessions होते हैं. एक तो हुआ जो pitching sessions हुआ, demo days हुआ, meetup sessions हुआ. ये सब चीजें होती रहती है incubator में. कमी नहीं है नेटवर्किंग की. बस ये है कि जैसे अभी आपने अनम्यूट करके बात किया मेरे से, वैसे ही सब लोगों को आगे बढ़ के बात करना पड़ेगा. क्योंकि मेंटर आपके पास नहीं आएगा बात करने के लिए. You have to go and meet them.
Okay. Right. Ma'am, I have one more question that is similar to Mahendra sir. जैसे मैम सर ने पूछा था. Suppose we have got some elite, like we are from an engineering background. Okay. Suppose कोई company secretary या कोई higher authority like that, उसको startup करना है ना, वो कैसे इस incubation center को utilize कर सकता है? Because वो technocrat नहीं है, जैसे आप सर ने भी पूछा था. How he or she can utilize that thing?
Okay. So if somebody who is from a CA background or a CS background wants to start their own venture, सबसे पहले तो
Right.
जो भी वेंचर है उसकी, जैसे मैंने पहले कहा था कि आइडिया जनरेशन, कि आप एज अ सीए और सीएस आप क्या शुरू कर सकते हैं विच इज गोइंग टू डील विद योर स्ट्रेंथ्स. ठीक है, क्योंकि आप कोई इंजीनियरिंग या जैसे मैं पहले बात कर रही थी स्पेस इंजीनियरिंग या साइबर सिक्योरिटी वाले वेंचर्स तो खोलेंगे नहीं. यू विल ओपन अप समथिंग विच इज डीलिंग विद योर स्ट्रेंथ्स. जैसे हमारे इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर में वी हैड पीपल हु हैड स्टार्टेड देयर अकाउंटेंसी स्टार्टअप्स. So what they were doing is they were offering accounting services to other startups. जैसे मैं बीच में बोल भी रही थी कि many startups don't have an understanding of financial diligence. So they gave their services to the startups on paid basis, and that was their venture idea. तो ये हो सकता है, क्यों नहीं हो सकता? CA और CAS तो बहुत जरूरी होता है किसी भी वेंचर के लिए. They started this. Now, can you think about something else? I mean, there are a lot of online platforms which do this. So can you be an aggregator? एक होता है कि डायरेक्ट सर्विसेज देना, एक होता है कि एग्रीगेटर बन के प्लेटफॉर्म बना लीजिए. ये सब काम हो सकते हैं, राइट? So Gaurav, have I answered your question?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
There are a lot of methods. I mean, and the thing is, you don't need to really come out with a new idea. You just need to search the space. क्योंकि US, UK, Germany, France, इसमें बहुत सारे ऐसे सर्विसेज के ऊपर वेंचर्स खुले हुए हैं. You can replicate it here in India. I mean, of course, you have to take the Indian environment into consideration, but otherwise, एकदम से नया बिल्कुल ही out of the market ideas बहुत rare होते हैं. Just do your research. Market में देखो क्या available है जो इंडिया में नहीं है, but बाहर है. Bring it here in India. अब ओला भी तो उबर से ही बना है. हमारे स्विगी और ये जोमेटो वगैरह कहाँ से बने हैं? They're all based on the different services being given in US, UK, and many places in Europe. और वो उसमें tested business model भी है, क्योंकि if something is thriving outside, so that means many dimensions of that business model has already been tested. All that
We need to find out gap only. We need to find out that gap only. That's what I'm thinking.
Correct. Very, very correctly said. Anybody else? Okay. आप अभी पब्लिक फोरम में पूछने में हिचकिचा रहे हैं तो no problems. Sunil, maybe you can share your contact details and ID. So in case you want to ask anything, you can reach out to Sunil and you can get in touch with him. Yes, I think somebody called.
No, ma'am, I have already shared my number in chat box.
Actually, you have shared it, but वो chat box में दिख नहीं रहा है. Not coming. So maybe you might need to just say it out and people can note it down if they want.
Okay.
Chat box में नहीं दिख रहा.
Okay. Good morning, all. My name is Sunil Cheruvilli and my number is 96-506-90619. Thank you.
Repeat it once again.
It's okay. It's 96-506-90619. So you can contact me for any help regarding this entrepreneurship activities and incubation operations. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sunil. The reason why I said repeat it again is because 99% people first उसमें तो पूरा नंबर लिख नहीं पाते और अगर लिख भी लिया तो एक आध नंबर तो गलत हो ही जाता है. So it's always good to repeat numbers. Yeah. So any other questions if you have? Maybe Ayush ji, since you have organized this particular session, and like I said, I didn't want to use PPTs because it's always better when you're talking about certain things. And I'm speaking from experience. मेरा अगर आज की डेट में if I'm known nationally at the international level also, if I've been able to work, it's basically because of my work in the entrepreneurship ecosystem. So Accenture gave me an award around 5-6 years ago for working with women jail inmates for helping them become micro entrepreneurs. So ये सब चीजें भी हो सकती हैं. So anything and everything is limited only by your own imagination and creativity and your own willingness to work. So for many faculties who are there, you might be interested in knowing that I am among the few Indians who have both a Fulbright and a Shivling scholarship. Fulbright scholarship is something which is given by the US government and it's a completely funded scholarship. तो इसका मतलब आपको अपनी जेब से एक पैसा नहीं लगाना पड़ता, प्लस उल्टा वो आपको बढ़िया स्टाइपेंड देते हैं, and you get to do a lot of networking, you get to learn a lot of things, and of course जो network किया वो it becomes very, very much important when you're doing something on your own. दूसरा जो है वो मेरा शिवनिंग का था, which was with the Oxford University, given by the British government. तो ये सब चीजें this happened only because of I did what I've been talking to you. Case studies लिखे, research papers लिखे, लोगों से मुलाकात की, worked with people in different dimensions. The students, maybe I think around 2000 plus students and women entrepreneurs I have worked along with. हाँ, शुरू में लगता है, मतलब I'll tell you also some things which happened. शुरू में जब when we were working in this particular field, my own colleagues used to say that you're a crazy idiot. The reason being that when you're working in the field of entrepreneurship, you're doing things which are over and beyond the call of your faculty duty. पैसे उतने ही मिलते हैं, काम हम लोग डबल करते हैं. As a faculty, आपके जो सब्जेक्ट्स होते हैं वो तो पढ़ाना ही होते हैं और पूरा काम करना पड़ता है. प्लस entrepreneurship का जब आप देखते हैं, it's a double duty, but you get paid for only one. But the difference comes in how do you leverage what you've learned or what you're doing in the entrepreneurship ecosystem to grow more than what your faculties have done, more than the other faculties have done. तो आज अगर गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के साथ में स्टार्टअप 20 जो कि इंडिया का पहला वर्टिकल है G20 में, that has been created, and if I'm working as a co-chair in one of the task forces where I get to meet a lot of big names across India and across the globe. ये सब चीजें, this has happened only because of what I said. ये अगर, I mean, everybody can do that. There's nothing, no nuclear science to it. It's just a little bit of effort and a little bit of interest, which creates a difference, right? So I think, Mahendra ji, it's 10:55. Ayush ji, if there are any questions, great. Otherwise,
I believe it's an. Hello. You saying something, Ayush? And
not able to hear.
नहीं, query नहीं है. सुनील जी ने शेयर किया, नंबर शेयर किया. I say it's finally, I believe it's a completely a crisp and very static, straightforward information about the incubator and sharing your own experience and accepting the mistakes you did while launching an incubator. It's a better session, मुझे नहीं लगता है कि हो सकता है इस समय, और इस तरीके से जहाँ पे एक ओपन इन्वायरमेंट है, जहाँ पे एक कंफर्टेबल इन्वायरमेंट है, आप खुद देख सकते हैं कि एक फैकल्टी कैसे टर्न होती है एक इंस्टीट्यूट रोल में. सो आवाज जी बहुत बढ़िया, आपके काम के लिए तो हरदम तारीफ है और क्लैपिंग्स हैं, अप्लॉज है. एंड बट थैंक यू फॉर एक्सेप्टिंग द इनवाइट एंड डिलीवरिंग ए गुड वेरी निश पॉइंट टू पॉइंट सब्जेक्ट्स हियर. सुनील जी, थैंक यू आपका भी आने के लिए इस सेशन में. एंड आई बिलीव कि आपने जो नंबर शेयर किया है, काफी लोग आपको अप्रोच करेंगे, बात करेंगे. हो सकता है कि हम लोग भी आने वाले समय में कुछ फैकल्टी प्रोग्राम्स बिल्ड आउट करें और चीज़ों को आगे बढ़ाने की कोशिश करें. We definitely reconnect, although we are connected virtually and somehow through LinkedIn and all, but टेलीफोनिक और बाकी चीज़ों से शायद बात नहीं होती. तो बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आवाज जी, इसके साथ ही आपका आने के लिए. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I think I lost you for 10 seconds.
Sorry,
Hello.
क्या बोला आवाज जी?
Yeah, I think I lost you for 10 seconds, but thank you for that. And definitely we'll be connected. And anybody else who needs to come in. So, yeah.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And have a great day ahead.
Thank you.